a big 6x6. Uncle John almost showed him. Tessa and Mama's been hunting, but we can't get him. He's too smart. He's too smart for Daddy. Doesn't want to play anymore. He's a big 6x6. Look at him. Look. Look how big he is.
There may not be a more telltale sign that hunting season has finally arrived than the first cold morning spent in the wall tent with friends and family in elk camp. As summer turns to fall and the leaves begin to change, so too has our dynamic in elk camp, as Darcy and I recently welcomed our first son into the world in early April, and he joined us in camp for his first ever stay in the deluxe wall tent. Throughout late August and early September, we were joined by several good friends and family in the field, and we were fortunate to be blessed with some of the best early season elk hunting action we've ever witnessed.
No luck yet. Pretty sure we had one bugle, and we're kind of trying to figure out which direction it was. Dylan figures it might have been down towards the cut block. I think it's up towards the beds. So we've been sitting here ripping a few more just to see if we can get another answer, but the wind is just enough where it's tough to hear. So personally, I think we should work our way up towards the bedding area and finish our loop. It's, what is it, like August 31st today, so it's early, and I think we got to be right on top of them before we can get them really worked up. I know they are going, and if we get to the right spot with the right bull, we have a chance. So it's just a matter of covering ground. We had a really good bull sneak on us yesterday with Dylan was hunting, come around the corner, and he was standing there 33 yards. Couldn't get a shot. Almost thought about threading one in there, but it's not worth it. So they're around. First up, a couple times coming into these spots is always the most exciting because, you know, they haven't been hunted yet. But it's also a gamble because if they're not going, you come in and risk spooking them out. So we're gonna work our way slowly and let out some non-aggressive bugles and some cow calls to see if we can get an answer. And if we can, maybe we'll make a play on them. But I think we should work our way up and to the top of that ridge, and maybe they're on the other side and they're coming out. That's definitely this year. Probably a few days old. The leaves are dried up, but that's 2 or 3 now that we've stumbled on as we're working our way up to the bedding areas. So they're definitely spending some time in here. I know they're here, but we just gotta get one to talk. Gotta yell at enough elk. Just hope one yells back at us. We've been working these bedding areas all morning. We just came over this crest and I let out a bugle, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one from this morning answered just up the ridge here a ways, so we're gonna kind of move after him. We've actually got wind in our favor now because the wind's coming this way, so we're gonna try and sneak around him. And he doesn't sound like a monster, but he wants to play, so. We were getting ready to go after that bull, grab the decoy, and we heard crash, 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 and I'm like, holy crap, this is gonna happen quick. And we could see something coming through the trees, crashing, crunching, and like 7 yards out stepped a black bear. That was pretty funny. That's the first time I've ever called in a bear. He's still right here.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, Rexbid Broadheads, the MD of Bonnyville, Hoyt Archery, Weatherby, Deluxe Wall Tents, and Wapiti River Outdoors. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
First kick at the can. We're gonna go see if we can get any bugles back here tonight. There's a big finger that goes off from behind us. It's pretty dead for wind tonight, so we're gonna go try and walk down this cut line behind us. See if we can find anything. It looks like there's a cut block. When we get up that way, we're gonna go see what it looks like.
Exactly like what happens so often to us in the elk woods, this bull finally charged into our lap at less than 30 yards, but wouldn't break from the thick cover. With absolutely no way to even imagine getting an arrow through, we had no choice but to stand and watch him for nearly 5 minutes before the wind finally turned and he bolted from our lives forever.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Scree Gear, Top Notch Taxidermy Studio, Uniro Electric Bikes, Ole Smokes Coffee, Federal Premium Ammunition, High Mountain Seasonings, and OnX Hunt. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by the MD of Bonnyville. Lake adventures happen here.
One of the things I look forward to the most in elk camp is sneaking away for a hunt or two with Travis O'Shea of Wapiti River Outdoors. I'll admit, it's tough to line our schedules up to get together for a few days in the woods, but when it happens, we have a ton of fun. This past fall, we managed to hook up for a quick morning hunt in early September, and it didn't take us long before we found a few bulls willing to play.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, he wasn't close.
Yeah, so it's a couple of yards away for sure. Let's go about halfway. Oh yeah. And then we'll try and go.
That bull is mad. Trav's been doing some search bugles, low groans, tendon bugles, and he's screaming back. But they're still a little ways away. We need to get him closer. I don't know if they're coming or not. They must think so. They're setting up. So they're gonna split up and they're gonna team call. Justin will do some cow calls. Oh, they're pissed though. There's 2 or 3 maybe. See, and this is where I want to learn, because for me, I would keep going at them, but they're setting up so they think they're gonna come. So I want to see this. I don't even care if I get a shot. I just want to see Travis do his thing. He's one of the best in the world when it comes to making elk noises like that. So if anybody can pull these bulls in, it's definitely him. That one's getting closer. The farther one's the bigger one though. This is probably a satellite. That one's got cows. And the satellite, we can probably pull the satellite to us. He's angry. That's the most angry I've heard a bull yet this year. We're gonna bump forward. They don't wanna come over this hill. So we're gonna move about 100 yards or so. And then try and bring them the rest of the way.
Is he on this side still, or is he crossing?
They're close to crossing.
Okay. How close are they?
Still quite a ways, still over the hill for sure. Not that close.
This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Scree Canada, rugged hunting clothing for Canada's terrain. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan.
The hardest part about shooting an elk is waiting to see if you got him after. So it's been about an hour and a half. We've patiently waited back here, backed out, and we tried to review the footage on the camera and it looks decent. I don't know, it happened so quick. Travis and Justin said it looked good, so he only ran, sounded like what, maybe 20 yards and stopped. We stopped him and he sat there for a long time, and then we did hear some crashing, and I don't know if that was him tipping over. But it's been about an hour and a half, so we're gonna work our way back up there and just kind of work our way in slow, see if we can find the arrow. We feel like it might have passed through, or it should be laying there somewhere close, and then if we can make it to where he had stopped, we should be able to see blood and then have a better idea of what we're looking at that point. But I feel like he's gonna be dead close there. Yeah. Like it should have been a good enough shot where
It looked good.
It looked good, so. I kind of smell guts. Yeah. A little bit.
Oh, I do. I smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I smell guts.
From where he was laying. We got him. He's we knew he was here. He didn't go far, and then John actually bumped him again while we were looking for him, and we heard him. He only ran 50 yards, and then we could hear him heavy breathing. So I snuck up, thought I was gonna have to give him another arrow, and I actually almost stepped on him, but he's done. I didn't need a second arrow, and he's ours. So let's have a look at him. I was getting a little nervous. I knew the shot wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I mean, I'd be the first to admit that. It happened so fast, and he was walking through. So yeah, you can, well, it's definitely back a little ways, but clearly worked, so I don't know. It's kind of piled in there pretty good. I'll see if I can pull him out, but yeah. So he's a 4. We thought he was a 5 when he come in, but nice, clean looking. Not an ugly 4, but up here, I mean, we say it time and time again, a legal elk is a dead elk until we get good enough to start passing them. But we hunt our butts off in this forest up here, trying to get a shot at a legal bull, and to do it with a bow. First animal with a new Hoyt, and I'm pretty pumped. It's been a lot of years since I've actually had a shot at a bull with a bow. Last one I killed probably 4 or 5 years ago. And this is a nice one. I love how dark he is. And the bulls were fired up this morning. Absolutely fired up. And this guy, we knew he was a smaller satellite. He was letting off a couple squealy bugles in the background, and he snuck in and made a fatal mistake. But it's too much fun. I have to thank Travis O'Shea from Wapiti River Outdoors, Justin Pilgrim, pro staff for Wapiti. Those guys were unbelievable on the calls this morning. Well, Travi, thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
It was a good time. We don't get out too often together, but when we do, it's always a good time, and I'm glad that we actually got to interact with some bulls this morning. And my favorite part about it was just listening to you guys work the different bulls and seeing the emotion that you put into the calls. And
yeah.
I'm a sucker for knowledge, so I always try to learn as much as I can, and there's no better way to do it than to go out with the pros. So you guys did incredible this morning, and I wouldn't be here without it. So really, really appreciate it. Same with Justin. I didn't know you before this trip, but feel like we're good friends now. So nothing brings people together better than a successful elk hunt, eh?